It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Wales' oldest brewery, Felinfoel Brewery, and this is their IPA. This is 4% ABV. I reviewed this when it first came out. Now, I first seen this in Tesco's 2 years ago, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, I didn't rate it at all. In fact, I thought it was, if I'm honest, pretty awful. Now, what I'm hoping with this is, this has been sent to me by a company called bestofbritishbeer.co.uk. The link is in the description box for those guys. I'll talk about those in a moment, but I just want to give this a second time around, if you like, a second chance. A second chance just to see if this beer has improved. Now, I'm reviewing this in April 2024, and this has a sell-by date of June 2024. So there's only 2 months left on the sell-by date. So I suppose my biggest fear is this is part of the same batch of the beer, well, not from a couple of years ago, but let's just hope it's improved. It's from Wales' oldest brewery. Their most famous beer is Double Dragon. I quite like that, especially on cask down in West Wales. It's lovely. Their stout is pretty decent too. Blue bottle cap. Let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. There's a lot of history with this brewery. Whoa. Yeah, there was a little bit of a hiss. Not much in the way of smoke. Anything really coming out the top of that bottle. There's a lot of history with this brewery. It looks okay. It looks okay. We got a 1 finger white head on the beer. Good levels of slow moving carbonation. It's a hazy amber coloured beer, so unfiltered, which is really rather good. Felinfoel were the first brewery ever to can a beer. First ever canned beer in the world from this brewery here, Felinfoel, and that was their Double Dragon. So they'll always be part of the history books, this brewery, even if it's just in a small little way like that. So the beer looks okay. There's no sediment in the bottom of the glass. It's just unfiltered. It's not a bottle conditioned beer. Aroma. You know, some breweries are just really good at cask beer. They're just really, really good at producing great cask beer. And when they kind of like, well, not transition. I mean, as I mentioned, this brewery was the first brewery to put beer in a can. They probably set their brewery up to put beer in a can and beer in a bottle. It smells okay. There's a little bit of malt aroma coming through. There's a little hop aroma coming through. It's a little lemony, little sweet. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, well. Right. It's an awful lot better. It's an awful lot better than the first bottle that I reviewed a couple of years ago from Tesco. That bottle was, well, quite frankly, I found it undrinkable. This is far improved, vastly improved. A little bit of carbonation, pushing the beer on the inside of the mouth. It's a little sweet. A little syrupy, if I'm honest. A little syrupy, a little sweet, but you're definitely getting some good quality malts coming through. That sweetness over here then kind of like pushes over into bitterness on the back end. It's a nicely balanced beer. It's okay actually. It's vastly improved from that first beer that I reviewed a couple of years ago. So, flavours. Hop flavours. It's a little kind of grapefruit like, it's a little orange peel like. I've mentioned you get that kind of like slightly kind of bready sweetness coming through. Yeah, there's quite a lot going on. And for 4% ABV, 4% ABV, you're talking about like a beer that you could quite happily buy 4 of these and crack on a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday night. I think what I would do though, I think I'd buy 2 bottles of their IPA, 2 bottles of their Double Dragon, and 2 bottles of their Stout. And I would, yeah, I'd have a couple from each. I think if you drank 4 of these, I mean, it's completely doable. I'm sure people do. But I think I would want to mix it up from this brewery if I was to either buy it from Best of British Beer or Felinfoel themselves. So talking about Best of British Beer, this company specialises in small breweries around the UK that I mean, there's still breweries that I get sent beer from Best of British Beer that I've never heard of. Never heard of the brewery, and I've been in the brewing industry now. I've been reviewing beer on YouTube for 14 years, and there's still breweries that Best of British Beer, they send me the beer, and I'm like, oh, this is completely new to me, and it's quite nice when a box comes through from Best of British Beer. It's like Christmas every month. You don't know what's coming through the door from small breweries around the UK. It's quite exciting. If you're into beer, which I imagine you are because you're watching 8 minutes so far of my video, then click the link in the description box. Have a look at their website. See if it's for you. bestofbritishbeer.co.uk. So I'm going to rate this. Yeah, Wales' oldest brewery. When Brains Brewery bought Buckley's Brewery, and then when Marston's Carlsberg more or less bought Brains, that meant that, yeah, these guys, Felinfoel, become Wales' oldest brewery. So, what do they say? The golden colour and smooth flavour gives this IPA its key characteristics. A beautiful light medium bodied beer with some caramelised malt and balanced bitter in hops. A drink to be savoured. And then it's in Welsh. Yeah, it's alright. It's alright. It's a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.